happy Monday, the 14th of November. Owen Jennings here, coming in with the channeled energies of the week forecast, so that you can be aware of the incoming energies which are bound to affect you in your everyday life. So that if something is happening this week that you perhaps don't understand why, then it could well be because of the energies that are around. Gives you a bit of a heads up, gives you an idea of how to navigate those energies and take advantage of them if they're positive. This week they do feel fairly positive actually, which is good news. I don't know about you, but the last couple of weeks I felt like I've been dragged through something backwards, or put in the washing machine on spin, and I've come out a bit of I've come out all confused. So the energies have been very hectic leading up to this week, especially with the 11/11 portal on Friday, which was a lovely thing, but at the same time it was quite heavy energy because it needed us to be very clear on what we wanted to manifest. And of course the full moon earlier in the week was also quite a hard hitter. So this week we're glad to know things calm down in that regard, but we are still in that phase of trying to decipher what it is we want to do next, what our plans are for the next lunar new year. And it's, it feels like a lot of pressure, but the message this week is it doesn't need to be. Hooray. And it's all about tuning in to, of course, into our intuition. So let's go in there and see what's coming through. Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be with you here again today, giving you this forecast from today up until Sunday, the 20th of November 2022. So, right, Owen's already said how she feels about the previous energies, and they were hard-hitting. They're meant to be. They were all about realizing what you wanted to let go of, even if you're not quite sure how to let go of, but realizing what you wanted to let go of and making room for the new. And a lot of you are really close to stepping forward into your next phase of development, or of your work, or your calling, or just in your personal life, because a lot of you for a while have been stuck and going round and round in circles. So the energies were there for a reason, to help you see clearly, even if it meant a bit of a shake-up. Okay, this week the energies aren't as heavy, or they shouldn't be. We still see that many of you are trying to make a decision. So when you're making a decision, of course you're going to use your logical mind and you're going to do some research, especially when it's a big decision, and that's all right. But you also need to listen to what your heart and your body and your soul is trying to tell you too. Because if you're not in alignment at the soul level, then whatever you're deciding isn't really going to work. So what we mean by that is you need to have your heart, your soul, your body on board with your mind, or the other way around. So really bring all of you into this decision-making process. Focus on what it is you wish to achieve. Don't overthink it though. All right, so this is what we mean. Go into the energetics of it. When you're trying to make the decision, where in your which area of your body is maybe feeling uncomfortable, because that might give you an indication as to what needs clearing energetically for you. Okay, and then we also feel that, with all this talk of end of an 18-year cycle, and this talk of, you want to get ready for the next stage, it can feel quite pressured. And some of you are really searching for a decision, but not necessarily a decision, you're searching for clarity. You're nearly there almost. It's like you're about to cross the line, but you're not quite there yet. And don't worry about it, okay? It might just take a little bit longer. Really trust the journey rather than the destination, and really tune into your intuition as to what you can do each day to get you nearer to where you want to be. And it may well be that some of you don't know where you need to be. So again, just taking time out each day to tune into yourself, tune into your higher self, your intuition, your soul, and your heart, and see what comes forward as to what steps you can take, which are more in alignment, which are going to bring you more joy and happiness. All right. So that's what we're seeing. There's no need to race to the action part. Is whilst we're saying don't overthink, we're also saying to you, don't jump at something just for the sake of it. Really consider the whole of the parts, as it were. So again, what we mean by that is try and combine your logic with your spiritual self, if you like, with your emotions. How do you feel about it? With your intuition, what's your intuition trying to tell you? What's your body trying to tell you? So for example, if you have various aches and pains in your body, or knot in your stomach, or something like that, it might mean that the direction you're thinking of heading into is not the right one. So, and because the energies have been so crazy, you have been shaken about, most of you anyway, have been shaken about, and it's almost like you need everything to settle. A lot of you have ascended massively into your next spiritual steps. So there is also this need for integration, for allowing yourself to absorb, to just slow down. So that's another message we have for you, really. Don't worry if things aren't going as quickly as you want. Take the time this week to do your research on all levels. Take the time this week. You know what you need to let go of, but take the time this week to really investigate, if you like, but using your whole system. So we don't need to repeat what we mean by that, we don't think, but using your whole system, okay? And by the end of the week, moving into next week, you should be clearer. And then there's a new moon coming up, which will help you further. All right. So we hope that helps you. On the whole, it's a more chilled week, if you like, energetically. It doesn't mean you can't get things done. Of course you can. It just means anything big in terms of taking action might be slower than you wish, but that's not a bad thing, because you really need to take this whole system approach to it. So we hope that makes sense, and we wish you a wonderful week. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I know for me, I'm trying to make decisions on what I'm doing in my business, and I'm nearly there, but I'm not quite there. And I'm a bit frustrated because I feel like I should know, but I think the answer is we just have to see what comes in. We have to, and there's certain steps I feel like I should be taking, and then something tells me, no, wait. So I think it's that kind of advice they're giving this week. You have a feeling or a thought you might want to do something, but actually if you're feeling kind of stuck, or there's something in your body, so for me it's like in my chest and it doesn't feel right, so I'm just holding on. Just holding back, really, not holding on. Also to say that, if you are feeling like that, don't forget, one of the simplest ways to get some guidance is to sign up to my Spirit Guide hotline. You can get guidance on one question for £15, 5 questions for 30, and up to 20 questions for £60. It's a really good way of getting guidance from my guides. So you send me a question on Messenger or WhatsApp, and within 24 hours or so, I'll channel the guidance from my guides and send it to you. It brings a lot of clarity very quickly. So maybe that's a good way for you to get some help if you feel like you need some help. I'm also going to be offering some Akashic healing and clarity sessions. As you know, I'm now an Akashic Code practitioner, which I'm very excited about. I'm eventually going to be, I think, combining that with my channeling. But at the moment, I'm just offering it separately for people to get used to the idea, for people to try it, and there will be an introductory price, which I haven't quite settled it on yet. So as you can see, things are in the progress stage. But if you are interested, then do let me know. So this is where you maybe feeling you need some healing, you might be stuck in a certain area, and I can go into your Akashic records and see where you're blocked, and clear those at the root level energetically. So for example, it might be past lives, it might be ancestral stuff you're carrying, it could be things you've created in this lifetime, but all sorts of things can come up. And it's very, very interesting, and it clears very specific blocks that perhaps you weren't aware of. Yeah, so that's just me for now. There's more to come, but I'll just leave it there. And I wish you an amazing week ahead. And you know where I am if you want to either sign up to the Spirit Guide Hotline, or if you wish to avail of a special offer for the Akashic healing and clarity session, or anything else you feel like I can help you with. So I hope you have a great week. Bye for now.